Hi everyone, we're going to continue with the quick review of financial math. So in video 1, we had the financial math problems where we solved for the future value. Now I realized that in the notes I probably called this CO, okay, but it doesn't matter whether I call it CO for original or CI for initial. It doesn't matter. It's just an unknown value. Just like I said in the other video, I couldn't remember if I called this N or X or T. Doesn't matter. Okay, I'll put N for number of years. You can call an unknown value anything. We try to name them so they make sense, but this is not a big deal. Okay, so I'll just stick to CI for initial. If you want to stick to CO, that's fine. So we're going to do problems where you are given, so let me just do an example without context, okay, without a story. So for example, we have 3,000 on this side, right? Probably, obviously it would be $3,000 in a context. We don't know how much was invested. We know that the investment rate was 5%, pretty high, but that's the investment rate. Let me remind you, right? So that would have come from 100 plus 5% divided by 100, and that's 1.05. And let's say this happened for 8 years. Okay, so in these types of problems, your job is just to turn this into a simpler value. So you can reach for your calculator or wait for me to calculate it. This keeps changing. Okay. So let's see. So 1.05 exponent 8, 1.477. Now, this value is the only value I'm solving for, so I'm just going to call it C. I don't need the little I because I don't need to distinguish. There's only one unknown. You can also call it X if you want. So this becomes 1.477. Right? What do? We divide both sides by the coefficient of the unknown. And we solve for C. $2,031. Okay, 0.14. So that's it. That's basically this type of problem. Next week, we'll do the problems that involve logs. Okay, so let's do another example with the context. So in this example, we'll say that David invested a sum of money, so we don't know how much, a sum of money for 10 years. With an annual rate of 4%. If he had $814.13 after 10 years, or maturity, that's a word you might hear. Maturity means when the time is up. How much, or what was the original or initial investments. Okay, so we write our formula. Future value. Okay, so I'll switch it. Remember before I said I was using I? It doesn't matter if you're using O. It's where it's positioned. This is the original. Okay, so I'm doing it on purpose now to switch it back and forth. And again, maybe in class I used X. It doesn't matter. Right? If you understand the formula, these little differences won't matter. So future value, so after 10 years, right? This is what he has now. This is what I'm solving for. So in reality, I'm just going to call it C because there's no other unknown. And after 10 years, 4%. So let's do that here. 100 plus 4 divided by 4. Okay, if you skip this step, that's fine. That's an easy step. Okay, so let's see if you remember this step. Convert to one value. 1.04 to the power of 10. 1.480. And in math, we always put the variable after. So I didn't do that before, but I did it here. Okay. Divide by 1.48. 1.48. 81413 divided by 1.48 is 550. So his original investment, I'll round, is 8 cents, but 550. So let's do the last example because your Math Help Services will it's very simple. Okay, it's not a lot of work. So where I'm encouraging you to do it. It's the formula that you've seen. And you'll do well. Okay, so let's go with Eva, my daughter. Let's see. Eva invested or saved. We'll go with invested. Why not? These are usually invested. Invested money for 6 years. The rate was 5.5% semi-annual. So I didn't go over this in the first video, but now we'll do that now. At maturity, so I mentioned that earlier. Maturity means that the investment is over. So 6 years. At the end, we say it reached maturity. Okay, so I'll use that word. At maturity, she had 19,000. What did I write there? Oh boy, I made a mistake. Okay, we'll round it up. She had $19,102. What was her original investment? What was her original amount, right? Or I can also say amount, initial. Okay, so future, original, okay, CI, CO. I'm doing this on purpose. It's fine. Base, time, unknown. The base is 100% plus 5.5% divided by 100, 1.055. Okay, we're going to fill in our values. Future, I don't know, I'll just call it one letter. I don't need two letters, right? The subscript is used when the same letter is being used in the problem. Okay, so if I had X and Y, I wouldn't need X1, Y1. But if I had X and X, you need X1, Y1. X1, X2, sorry. Base and time. Okay, so if you're thinking something's wrong, you're correct. Semi-annual, twice a year. Twice a year. So this actually becomes doubled. Okay, so X is the number of periods the investment is being calculated, or the rate is being calculated. So that becomes 12. So on the calculator, I can do that. I'll put all of this into my calculator. That's 1055 to the power of 12. Okay, so I'm here, I'm alone in my basement. I don't have any students to help me with calculations. 1.901. So 1.901C. 19102 divided by 1.901 is 10,048. I won't round this one. Doesn't matter. $10,048. Okay, so this is a quick review. You go on to do, there's 2 math help services, one Tuesday, one Sunday, and the Zoom, if you need it, right? If you don't need it, that's fine, on Wednesday. Bye.